And Jack State in the white with the basketball. Wearing the maroon will be the Aggies of New Mexico State. They are a physical, athletic team, and the Aggies have great size.
Yeah, ever since Jack State went into the league and started playing these guys, you know, that they're like that every year. I know everyone has roster turnover these days, but it seems like New Mexico State, as far as physicality and getting off the bus and passing the eye test, they do every time they take the floor.
Now, they did lose 94% of their scoring and 87% of their rebounding off of last year's team, but still, you're right. They do pass the eye test, and there's the alley-oop inside. Julius Mims, coming off a 21-point performance against Liberty, gives the Aggies the 2-0 lead.
You know, the Aggies are a dangerous team. They may be sitting at the bottom of the league, but they are desperate right now. The last two teams in the standings don't make the tournament.
Right.
New Mexico State is in that position. Now, they have time to make up ground, but they've got to take advantage of every opportunity. Their problem this year has been closing games. They've lost a number of close games. We talked about the 2 losses to Liberty just by 2 points, both those games. They've got to find a way to finish. A very dangerous team that Jack State is taking on here this afternoon.
Gamecocks work the perimeter. Fitzgerald to Jacoby. Hill. No at the shot clock, and it goes out of bounds off Jamel Jones. He was the other guy, number 21 in maroon. He was the other guy to score more than 20 against Liberty. I told you Julius Mims had 21. Jamel had 23.
Yeah, he hit some big shots down the stretch. New Mexico State came back again and took the lead in the second half of that game, thanks in large part to the shooting of those 2 guys you just mentioned.
And the layup try doesn't go. It rims out for Mutau Akil, and it's taken by the Aggies. Here's Pickens. Feeds the far side. Jacoby Osborne. And a try, no good. Rebound, put back again. So Julius Mims' pair of buckets gives the Aggies the 4-0 lead.
Mims at 6'9". He's got great leaping ability. Nice job on the offensive glass that time.
There's the floater and the miss. The putback is good for 2.
Marcus Fitzgerald has been a great player for Jack State. He's had his times throughout the season where his minutes have been reduced. Other guys got in the rotation more than he did, but here we are toward the end of the season, and Marcus Fitzgerald is having an impact for Jacksonville State.
Personal foul on A.C. Bryant. It'll be his first, and he gets his like number, Julius Mims. So he'll go to the line, Mims will, shooting a pair. Mims has 3 double-doubles in his last 4 ball games. He has been on fire.
And he's so efficient as a player, too. Shoots just under 60% from the field. That is an incredible field goal percentage for Julius Mims.
And he makes the pair.
By the way, A.C. Bryant going to the bench with that 1 foul. Coach Harper doesn't want to get him in foul trouble too early in this game, but that is obviously an issue. Your leading 3-point shooter is having to sit this early.
Number 3, Jay Nash, is in the lineup. That is he with the basketball. Out to Mustafa, who'll bump off of Osborne. Baseline, there was a good bit of contact, no good, and off the first miss and the second, the Gamecocks can't buy the bunny. So now the Aggies run the floor. Here's Gabe Pickens inside, and the little layup try by Mims is off the mark. Gamecocks set it up for Mustafa. Here's Nash. Baseball type pass into the left perimeter, and alone is Marcus Fitzgerald Jr.
Yeah, that was a great job. Take the pass from Jay Nash, who is the leading assister for the Gamecocks, was a little off. It didn't hit the shot pocket. Still, Fitzgerald able to reach over, catch it, cock and fire away and knock down that big three. He's got all Jack State's points.
Jamel Jones over the defense. No. Rebound, Niagu. And here comes Jay Nash the other way to Niagu. Fitzgerald. Mustafa. Baseline and the jam. Posterizing everybody was Jacoby Hill.
Well, that took some guts. He drove baseline, got by his initial defender, and was staring at 6'9" Julius Mims, and Jacoby made up his mind, I'm going for it. What a finish. Gets a hand from his coach.
And we have a timeout here in Jacksonville, Alabama. It is a 1-point JSU lead as we're early in the first half of play. Welcome back and watch this. Impressive.
You know, this young man stopped being a freshman somewhere along the line this season, but he's still a very young guy, and boy, he didn't play like it, though. That was a big boy move. I don't know any other way to say it.
Exactly. He is technically a freshman, but obviously what Mickey was getting at there is this is the 25th ball game of the year. So you've already lost your rookie stripes, if you will.
Nobody's a freshman in February, are they?
No, not at all. Here's the bounce to Mullen, and Kyrese lost the ball, and the arrow stays in New Mexico State's direction. Kyrese Mullen, a transfer from Hampton University in Virginia. 7 on the shot clock. Remember, they do not reset it here. Pickens. They've got to move it. Jones to Pickens. No good. And it's going the other way. Foul is being called on the Aggies. It is going to be Mullen. Kyrese Mullen from Norfolk, Virginia, picks up that personal. Working the D. Nash. Here's a 3 try. No good by Jacoby Hill. And now Chris Terrell. Osborne. Terrell again. He transferred from Delta State. And Anthony Rizesh misses that long-range try.
Yeah, Jack State lost Rizesh that time. They're fortunate. He's their best three-point shooter. Couldn't knock down the wide-open look.
There was the three-pointer out of the corner by Jay Nash.
You know, he has played so well the last several games after being really a non-factor on the offensive end. I asked Jack State coaches the other day, I said, does he have the green light now? They said, yeah, when he's open.
When he's open, exactly.
And he was open just then.
The whistle underneath. It'll be a Mondrick Erkins Ford. There is Anthony. Look at that last name. How do you get Rizesh out of that? W-R-Z-E-S-Z-C-Z.
Can you give me a vowel somewhere in there? What, one vowel in that last name? Yeah. Interesting.
Anthony Rizesh.
It's easier to say than it is to look at. I'll say that.
No doubt. Here's Terrell. Chris feeds off on the wing. 3. Short by Elijah Elliott.
Well, cold shooting early for the Aggies inside. The Pete, only 28% shooting, playing right into the hands of Jack State.
Yep, it's an 8-0 run for JSU. Jack State, an 8-0 run. Naduzzi. Right side, in and out, no good. Toby Naduzzi. Now the long-range tray. It's short by the Aggies. And Naduzzi picks up the rebound. Former MEAC Defensive Player of the Year, Naduzzi. Here's Erkins Ford.
Earliest we've seen him check in the game in a while.
Yes, Naduzzi hasn't gotten a lot of playing time. Saw a little bit of action in 17 games, but not a lot. And here now is a timeout being taken by the Gamecocks. The whistle brings up a 30-second timeout with 12:49 remaining. Hey, here's a triviata for you. Do you know that New Mexico State University is the only college in America with a officially licensed, collegiately licensed beer, wine, whiskey, and coffee? Did you know that? I didn't.
That's fascinating.
Yes. Pistol Pete's 1988 Ale, Pistol Pete's Crimson Legacy. The whiskey is called Pistol Pete's 6-Shooter, and the coffee is Aggie Roast. And obviously, I described their uniforms as maroon. Technically, they are crimson, and they are the only collegiately licensed beer, wine, whiskey, and coffee in America. Why are you taking a straw out now, Mickey? What are you doing?
Don't tell on me.
Here's Niagu. Jay Nash. They play off of him a little bit defensively with Elliott watching. Niagu. And a long try is an air ball, and it goes out of bounds off the miss by AC Bryant.
Yeah, that's the first shot for AC. El Mutauukio's only taken one shot, so Jack State off to the lead here without their two leading scorers really getting involved as of yet. You know it's coming, just not yet.
Jack State's only shooting 29% now. They have a scoring drought of just over 2 minutes. Of course, at the same time, the Aggies haven't exactly, as you said before, not lighting it up. Here's Terrell for three, and that one drains it. From Delta State and Horn Lake, Mississippi, Chris Terrell. It's an 11-10 lead, as you see on the bottom of the screen, midway through the first half. Gamecocks answered right back, and that's Toby Naduzzi. Remember, he had 29 against Delaware State. You know, he's in his previous life at Coppin State.
He's a great defender. When Jack State brought him here, they envisioned him being the defender, the perimeter defender for the other team's best guard, and it just hasn't panned out that way. Interesting to see him come in the game so early, taking advantage of that wide open three.
Mims missing twice, and then the rebound finally cleared out to the perimeter. Here's Terrell. Terrell kicks it outside. Elliott. Naduzzi all over his face, and there's a tray out of the perimeter by Jalen Randall. He's from Alabama A&M, Randall is. Also in the lineup, Kyrese Mullen, big number 3. We stood near him in the pregame, and he is a big old fella, sure is. Here's Naduzzi. Off the screen by Niagu, and the shot doesn't go. And Mims pulls down another rebound. Rebounding numbers, 12-9 in favor of the Aggies as Mullen misses the tray try. Now Nash. Mutauakil trying the reverse layup, ran into the defense of Mims.
Yeah, Mims, the leading shot blocker for the Aggies, just picked up his 37th block of the season. Good interior defense against Mo that time.
Here's the drive, left side perimeter, count it for Jalen Randall. He's the transfer from Southern Indiana and Alabama A&M.
Off to a hot shooting start from that three-point line, only 29% coming in. Got great form, though. Looked good on those two shots.
4-point lead for the Aggies, their largest of the day. And there the ball goes out of bounds. And Mechanical Arts. And then in 1960, the state formally recognized them as New Mexico State University. A little background there on the Aggies. Elijah Elliott feeds to Terrell.
Jack State, a little 3-2 zone out of the timeout.
Shot doesn't go. Scoring drought for the Gamecocks now of 2.5 minutes. A 6-0 run for the Aggies in that time period. Bryant for three, short. And here come the Aggies the other way. And it's tipped out of bounds. Good hustle by Marcus Fitzgerald Jr. The substitution, well, no substitution, but Jalen Randall getting set to inbound it for the crimson-clad Aggies. Elliott played at Southern Illinois. To Terrell, back to Elliott. The bounce pass, a nice one, and the body work inside has the ball staying out. Gamecocks run the floor. Jacoby Hill. Bryant back to Hill. Mutauakil is short.
Jacoby Hill needs to take that open three. He was wide open in the corner. We've seen that many times. Just such an unselfish player, but he's very capable of making that corner three.
And there's a long-range tray by Jalen Randall.
And he has given them quite a punch off the bench today.
7 points now the lead enjoyed by the Aggies. Randall averaging 8 points a ball game. He's got 9 already today. Shot no good. Gamecocks can't afford to go cold. Long range tray. Mutauakil, the leading scorer in Conference USA, number 23 in white, has no points today and still has none, but he'll be going to the line. That scoring drought for the Gamecocks, Mickey, now 4 minutes and 15 seconds.
And when you're
just a third of that, Mustafa El Mutauakil at the line. You know, the Gamecocks don't have the kind of team that can flourish if you don't make your baskets. Nobody does, but this has been a problem.
And the other night in the loss to UTEP, they missed more free throws than they lost by number of points. So it was another game. It was really frustrating for Coach Harper after the game. It was another game Jack State could have won simply at the free throw line.
The scoring drought for the Gamecocks now 4.5 minutes. Jalen Randall inside to Ekwe. Randall again. Ekwe knocks the ball straight down, and there's a shove and a whistle on New Mexico State. Jalen Randall picks up the personal. It'll be his first. That other name I mentioned was Augustine Ekwe, E-K-W-E. He's from Lagos, Nigeria, wears number 66 for the team in maroon. Erkins Ford hands it off, and there's a reach-in foul. So the foul will be on Anthony Rzesz. Rzesz from Gdynia, Poland. Baseline shot blocked. You don't see Mo get blocked like that very often. And there it's out of bounds. Ekwe tried to reach for it, and they're going to look at it. The Aggies are saying, don't just give it. And it's going to be Pickens to inbound for New Mexico State. Gabe Pickens. He played at Dream City Christian High School. It's a great name.
Yeah, it is a great name.
In Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, lazy pass. They're Aggies lucky they didn't turn that over.
Jones got it though and leaves it off. Rzesz gives back to Pickens. He's to the baseline. And here's Rzesz saving it. Leaves it for Ekwe. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Out to the perimeter. No good for Rzesz. And the rebound for Niago.
Can't ask for a better look if you're Rzesz. That was a wide open three.
And here's a Trey try. It doesn't go for the Gamecocks. Gamecocks now 5 of 23 from Treyland. And this is a team that really has made their living in three-point land. Alley-oop. Jacoby Hill. No! And they're going to call that a goaltend. Give the bucket to Jacoby Hill.
Well, Coach Hooten protesting vociferously over there. Let's get another look at it and see if he had a case. That's tough, tight call. I can see why the official would rule that a goaltend, but it was bang bang for sure.
It was. Jason Hooten, the head coach. That's he pacing in front of the Aggie bench there at the top of your screen.
You know, for the coaches that you would label pacers, he is definitely a pacer.
He is. And there's Rzesz for 3 off the perimeter.
Yeah, that's why you keep shooting it. If you're Rzesz, you're good. He's a 36% shooter from 3. He shoots the most threes for the Aggies and gets his first one to fall there.
8-point lead. Inside. Erkins Ford now. Nash. 4 on the shot clock. And he squared up beautifully to let that one go.
Jay Nash, 5 points in the first half, continuing the trend that we've been seeing from him lately, which is just a different player on the offensive end for Jack State.
Young man from Memphis, Tennessee. Rzesz, cross court. Pickens, no. Niago getting rid of Mims like he was a gnat on his back.
That's the Niago we talked about in our open. Those little plays that don't show up in the box score are why he is so important to Jack State's cause. He can make things happen in the paint.
Little floater, and with power to force that one into the bucket. Nicely done for Marcus Fitzgerald.
What a trio. Fitzgerald, Hill, and Nash are the offensive players here in this first half for Jack State. They need their main scorers to come along, but a nice job by those 3.
He is now number 3 in the mid-major top 25. They trail only Gonzaga and Miami of Ohio in that ranking.
And they survived that trip west. They had 2 battles on their hands. We mentioned earlier they escaped with that buzzer beater against New Mexico State, and they beat UTEP today in a tough game.
There's a long-range tray for Jamel Jones. Had 23 and 2 rebounds the other day against Liberty. 7-point lead for the visitors from Las Cruces, New Mexico. Nash Mutauakil. And that's a tray. Jacoby Hill.
Yeah, I mentioned Hill, Fitzgerald, and Nash. They're off to an 8 for 17 start with 19 points combined. They've got 19 of Jack State's 22 points.
Loose on the left side. Rajesh didn't get the bucket. Gamecocks run the floor. Jacoby Hill. Jones picked off the defense. Fitzgerald got it for 3. Marcus Fitzgerald Jr.
And that trio continues to carry the Gamecocks. They've shot them back within a point. Back-to-back triples by Jacoby Hill and Jay Nash.
A 6-0 run in the last 42 seconds. Jones, however, finds an opening, and Jamel, second team all Big West performer when he played at Cal State Bakersfield. He came up with a large must-have bucket. No chance there for Nash. And Rajesh runs the floor, and Anthony Rajesh, he played on the Polish junior national team and showed why he was on that team.
That was a little bit of a force there by Jay Nash. Correct myself, it was Fitzgerald that hit that last 3, but not a great shot choice there by Nash, and the Aggies make them pay with a transition bucket.
And there's an air ball by Fitzgerald. It goes out of bounds. Substitutions. Niagu and Bryant come in for the Gamecocks. Rajesh takes his seat now. And Jacoby Osborne. And that's how he spells it and pronounces it. It is Jae apostrophe Coby. It is Jacoby as opposed to Jacoby Hill for Jacksonville. Elliott. Mullen. No good for Kyries. Pickens with 90 seconds to go in the half. Nine on the shot clock. And there on a fall away, looked like Fitzgerald got a piece of him. But no, they're going to call it differently. They're going to call it on Mustafa El Mutauakil.
Here you'll see Mo help. He swats down at the last moment. That was good recognition by the Aggies. Jamel Jones at 6'4" with a decisive post advantage over the smaller Fitzgerald.
Free throw for Jones. They are a 72% free throw shooting team. Opponents shooting 74% against them from the line. And Jones makes the pair. Seven-point lead, New Mexico State, as we near the half. The alley-oop. Niago out to Mutauakil. Feeds the perimeter. And it's in and out. Mustafa with the rebound. And he puts it back. First points for him tonight.
Not only is he the leading scorer, Eli's Jack State's leading rebounder. Nice work on the offensive glass. That's the first basket of the game for Jack State's 2 leading scorers, either between Mustafa and AC Bryant.
And here's an offensive foul on Elijah Elliott for holding. He just reached out and grabbed the Gamecocks, and that'll be the first on Elijah Elliott. Got a piece of Marcus Fitzgerald there.
Fitzgerald and Elliott chatting it up on the other end, laughing about the call. I'm not sure what they were laughing at, but
I don't know if either man necessarily bought the call.
I think that was what they were laughing at.
Fitzgerald says, "What'd you do?" And he says, "I don't know." But the Gamecocks banked one in off the window. Final few seconds of the half. Jones says play number 1. 7 seconds. You see the clock. He's going to run out of time. Yep. He ran out of time. The shot clock violation was usurped by the period ending, and it is halftime here in Jacksonville. New Mexico State on top. Mustafa getting set to inbound it for the Gamecocks directly in front of us. And we're underway, second half here in Jacksonville, Alabama. Mutau Akil. And there's a whistle away from the ball as Jacoby Hill was getting ready to pass it. And Jacoby Osborne commits the personal. Now the inbounds to Niago, with Mims defending on him for a moment. Then Pickens comes in. Mustafa in and out, no good. He's just off by a tick today.
Yeah, and this has been a physical New Mexico State team, and they have made Mo work for everything he has gotten, which isn't much, but you know, there's still a lot of time left to play, and Mo doing a good job on the rebounding department. He leads the Gamecocks in that category with 5 right now.
Bryant, Niago. He'll dish to Jacoby Hill. Back to Niago. And Mustafa comes down the middle, and who kicked it out of bounds? It was New Mexico State that kicked it out. So with 9 on the shot clock, the Gamecocks will inbound it. Bryant, 5 seconds, 4, too strong, tip back, follow up, nothing goes, and Jacoby Osborne gets the rebound for New Mexico State. Razesh works it around to Pickens. Razesh and Pickens again. Pickens drives, reverses, and a nicely played layup by the man from Phoenix, Arizona, Gabe Pickens. He's got a bucket now today, but every bucket is vital in this low-scoring affair. Ball is loose. Razesh dives for it. And the jump ball and the arrows going New Mexico State's way.
Nice hustle by the Aggies. 2 players hitting the floor. Good effort by Jack State to get a jump ball situation, but the arrow does point in New Mexico State's direction.
They take a moment. You see them running off the floor after mopping up some of the wetness from the sweaty players. And now, excuse me, Gabe Pickens. Alley-oop. Wow, nicely done by a 6'9" Julius Mims. Got position and dropped it in.
Yeah, he didn't get it cleanly. He just kind of guided it down in the hoop. Nice job there by Mims.
Here's Nash with 10 on the shot clock. Hill, Nash, no good, and there's a whistle. Foul's going to be on Gabe Pickens. It'll be his first. Be the second on New Mexico State here in this half.
Aggies did everything right on that possession except not foul at the end.
And the shot is up and good. Jay Nash. ESPN had him as a 4-star performer coming out of high school in Memphis, and he makes the pair.
Jack State employing some full court pressure. This something that worked the other night a few times against UTEP. They pull it out for the first time today.
Jamel Jones pulls it back out to Pickens. Boy, look at Niago coming way out to play high defense. Razesh, nice pass inside to Jacoby Osborne. Nicely done by Razesh. Nicely done by Osborne, but the pass was a pretty one.
Yeah, Razesh had to put a little English on that pass too to fit it through there. Excellent assist.
Niago trying to drive through. Nash to Mustafa, and the floater for two.
See if that gets Mo going. That's the first time he's been able to really get a good, clean look on a downhill move. Osborne has done a pretty good job when he's been defending Mo in this game.
And now inside, there is a foul called. It's going to be this foul on Marcus Fitzgerald Jr. And at the line, Julius Mims. He transferred from North Idaho to Idaho, and then transferred from Idaho to New Mexico State. He's from Billings, Montana, Mims is. And Mutau Akil is replaced by Erkins Ford. Wonder if Mo is feeling all right. He looks fine. Just hasn't been his day.
It has been a physical game for him. They know what Mo can do, so New Mexico State has thrown a lot at him today, a lot of physicality. But I tell you just mentioned Erkins Ford coming in the game. That's who Jacksonville State needs to step up. He really gave them nothing against UTEP. The previous two games against Kennesaw State and Western Kentucky was in foul trouble, had to sit a lot, and they're missing some production when Erkins Ford is not involved in the game.
Nash. Terrell is screened off the play by Niago. Niago tips it back outside. Fitzgerald for three. Yes. It rotates and falls.
But give credit to Niago. I mentioned in the open that Niago uses his length to basically tap the ball to teammates as he did there.
And was there a 5-second violation? No. At 4.5 seconds, timeout was being called by New Mexico State's Aggies. So there is timeout on the floor in the business.
And that is an issue Niago's been dealing with all season. You may recall early in the year he actually missed some time due to the knee, and so once you start the season, there's not a lot of time for recovery if you want to stay active, and Niago has been playing with a gimpy knee for most of the year.
Chris Terrell has the basketball for New Mexico State. Feeds the corner, and a trade try. No good for Mims, and look who's in. Aitor Anabatarte. You saw him the other day for a well, not the last game, but 2 games ago. Hasn't played a whole heck of a lot of times. 12 games in total in which he has appeared. And Erkins Ford, no, and the follow-up, no, and they're calling Aitor on a foul. Aitor Anabatarte picks up the foul. It'll be the second team foul and another timeout on the floor. 3 games. Nadozi, number 7 there with the white sweatband. Looks like the coach is still trying to figure out what to do.
I think Coach Harper's still pushing some buttons here and there based on recent things that have happened in various games, and that's what coaches do. They're always looking for some type of advantage, and if you can make tweaks to your rotation and improve your chance of winning, that's what coaches do.
And now Mullins miss. Anabatarte pulled down the rebound, and out of the corner, a tray try. No good for Jay Nash. Here's Terrell. Left side, a tray and a foul. And that's going to be a 3-shot opportunity as Marcus Fitzgerald picks up his second. It'll be the third on the Gamecocks in this half. And that'll be a 3-shot opportunity for the Aggies.
Yeah, Jones hasn't been that active so far in the second half. He had 9 points at half, hasn't scored yet here in the second half. That's only his second shot attempt. Gets a chance at the line.
The transfer from Cal State Bakersfield misses that one. And as you mentioned earlier, he had 23 points and 2 rebounds the other day against Liberty to lead all scorers. And a third shot will be upcoming. Second team all Big West. And he was the Big West newcomer of the year when he played at Cal State Bakersfield. And he gets 2 out of the 3. (42-36). No field goals in the last 2.5 for New Mexico State. Perkins Ford, no, and the rebound pulled away by Mims. I like the way Mims plays. There's the feed inside, and it's laid in by Jalen Randall.
Randall's had a good game today. He's in double figures now off the bench, and that was just great transition basketball. You can't fault Perkins Ford. That was a good one-on-one move. Just couldn't get it to fall, but boy, the Aggies got out of there in a hurry.
11 points for Randall. And a foul on Terrell. It'll be team foul number 3 against the Aggies. And here's Jay Nash leaving it for Jacoby Hill. Off the Anabatarte screen. Jacoby Hill for 2. Nice move.
That was a big basket. Jack State really needed that, and Jacoby just going one-on-one, and now he's in double figures after that bucket.
Hill with 11. Coming off a 10-point performance the other day against UTEP, and that one goes out of bounds. And the Gamecocks will be going the other way. Glad you tuned in on ESPN Plus. Eli Gold, Mickey Shadracks, and our crew. Perkins Ford leaves it out for Hill. Back to Perkins Ford with Mims on his back. The follow-away is short. Rebound loose, taken by the Gamecocks. And there's a nice change of hands and the lay-in for Jacoby Hill.
How about Anabatarte, though, with the hands, though, to knock it loose. It even made that acrobatic shot by Jacoby Hill possible.
4 turnovers for the Aggies, 2 today now for the Gamecocks, who had none at halftime.
Jack State trying to put together a little run here. You can see the energy picking up on the defensive end, crowd into it as well.
Here now an underhand layup try. No, Mims out to Randall, and a 3. Jalen Randall, the Detroit native, having one of his better games. He has 11. He did have 24 against South Dakota, but these double-figure days was a big one for him. Anabatarte thought about it, nearly lost it. His own rebound, and it's knocked out of bounds. And we have a timeout. We have timeout here in Jacksonville. 11:36 to go in the ball game. A 7-point lead, and that seems to be Jason Hooten, head coach. Elijah Elliott with the personal, his second. Knocks it out of bounds. Ray Harper. He's a pacer.
Yeah, we have two pacers here.
Yeah, we got two pacers today.
Sure. Two great coaches, two great pacers.
Hill. Here's Mustafa. And a whistle and a foul. Count it for Mustafa Mutau Akil.
You know, when he attacks the basket, it's you know, it looks chaotic, but it's organized chaos. There's a lot of things flying in different directions, and Osborne has really been a physical defender against Mo when he's been on him today, as you see there, and Mo just finishing through contact there.
Now Mustafa at the line, trying to get his 7th point of the day, and he does. A 4-point ball game. New Mexico State on top, as they have been for all of about 4.5 minutes today. Trying to drive in. Elliott pulls up and shoots. No. Rebound. Osborne. Nicely done. And that guy is 6'6". And he just skied over everybody. Nash. Stopped. Let the defense go by. And Jay Nash with good body control there.
Well said, Eli. He did. He felt the defense on his hip, on his backside, and he gave that little hesitation. That was enough to get him in the air, and he could finish cleanly.
Randall to Terrell. Long range tray. Count it. And a foul. The 3-point basket was good. And there's going to be a foul called underneath on Jalen Randall. Well, I correct myself. Augustine Ekwe picks up the foul. His first. Mutau Akil will inbound it with Osborne watching. Still that 7-point lead, Mickey.
Yep.
Can't get past that.
Yeah, Jack State is having trouble, as you mentioned, kind of breaking through that barrier, but there are some positive signals with the way Mo's getting a little more involved on the offensive end.
Yeah, he's got 7 points now.
AC Bryant also back in the game. He has 0 points, and of course you know AC can erupt at any time.
Yeah, and he's a guy averaging 13 a ball game. Looking for an opening. Fitzgerald dishes. Niagu takes a shot in the face. No whistle. And there the shot clock violation. And it's turned over to New Mexico State.
Yeah, I think Niagu got hit that time. Probably should have been a whistle. The refs let it go. And then New Mexico State able to finish out the possession with great defense.
Only the 3rd turnover of the ball game for Jack State. Pickens leaves it for Elliott. Man-to-man coverage on the defense. They move it around. Stopping, shooting, and an air ball for Randall. It goes out of bounds, and Jack State gets the basketball going the other way.
And that's one of the few bad things that's happened to Randall on the offensive end. He has had a, as you mentioned, a super game today with these 17 points.
It's not far from his career high, which was 24 against South Dakota. Hill Mustafa drives. Osborne watching. Shot floats and a whistle underneath. And it's going to be New Mexico State. Guilty. It'll be Elijah Elliott picking up his third.
And there was Niagu attacking the offensive glass after the miss by Mustafa. Great job by Niagu.
The seventh foul on the Aggies. And Niagu goes to the line. And he gets a point. His first of the day. Yaroslav averaging 4.5 points per ball game. That was his first of the afternoon. He had 3 against UTEP the other day.
You know, if there was a stat for tapping balls to teammates, Niagu would be the leader in the league.
Exactly. He makes the 2 freebies. And now here comes New Mexico State back up the floor. Randall back outside to Pickens. Pickens watching, goes around Niagu. It's thrown to the corner. And inside, outside, all around the town. 3 doesn't go, and Mustafa pulls it down.
Great job by Mo boxing out Osborne that time to Jack State getting the stop they needed.
Do you like when Niagu comes way out to play defense like that?
Yeah, he is a great defender. He gets, you know, all we talk about is his offense, but the 2 areas that I think he's underrated is rebounding and his defense.
Here Randall gets hit. They're going to say no foul, no basket. They are going to give it the basket.
What a game for this guy. Look at the transition off the miss. Aggies have done this several times today. Just get down the floor in such a hurry. And Randall with the strong finish. And man, what a game. Looking, he got 19 now. If he could knock this down, that'd give him 20 points. And, you know, he is, again, has been the spark you love to have when you're on the road playing in conference play. Somebody come off the bench and give you something you typically don't do, and that has been the case today with Randall.
Again, he's 4 points shy of his career high of 24 against South Dakota. Now Nash. 8 minutes to go, as you see. And there is a trip at the baseline. And the whistle. And there's going to be a timeout. The foul is going to be on Jacoby Osborne. Mustafa Mutauakil at the line. Shoots it and makes it. 8 points for Mustafa today. By the way, women's basketball, Liberty has defeated New Mexico State 67-42. That is now a final, so Liberty's women knocking off the Lady Aggies. Pickens, baseline. And missing the layup in close, Kyrese Mullen, and it's out of bounds off New Mexico State. It'll be JSU ball going the other way.
Yeah, I think Mullins just kind of paid a little too much attention to the defense at time. He's 6'7", a big body. I don't think anybody can stop him that low, but sometimes you can anticipate getting more defense than you're actually going to get.
Yeah.
It affected his shot that time.
Gamecocks with no field goals in the last 3.5 minutes. And there, Pickens guilty of a reach-in foul. It'll be his second on the day.
It really does appear as though we're headed toward another close finish, and this New Mexico State team has had 2 heartbreaking losses coming into this game. Last Saturday was the the overtime lost in their I-10 rivalry with UTEP. Then, of course, on Wednesday night, as we mentioned, they lost that in that buzzer beater to Liberty.
Shot no good. 7:08 remaining.
Jack State would love to come back and give them another loss.
Gamecocks do not need to lose the 2 games against the Western teams here.
You're right, the loss to UTEP the other night, and what's so interesting about that game, you know, you and I talked about it throughout the game. Jack State shot the ball very well, right around 50%, and you still lose to the opponent. So tip your hat to UTEP. They came in here and shot lights out on Wednesday.
The foul on Mutauakil. Going to be the second there. And the 5th team foul on Jack State. And now Elliott at the line. Elijah Elliott. And in off the bench comes Augustine Ekwe, the 6'10" big guy from Lagos, Nigeria. And the free throw is good.
I tell you, these Aggies, they've got some really good defenders coming off the bench. You just mentioned Ekwe. He's got Erkins Ford right now. And then you also just mentioned Elijah Elliott. He's an outstanding perimeter defender. He's on Jack State's leading three-point shooter right now, as he has been most of the day.
Here's Mims. The bounce pass to Mustafa. Here's Hill. 3 on the shot clock. 2, 1. New shot clock. Shoot doesn't go. Rebound loose. Hill's got it back. Out to Mustafa. Behind the back. Bryant to Hill. Jacoby. New Mexico State complaining that the Gamecocks should have had a shot clock violation there.
And probably a foul as well. You could actually hear the hack over here. The officials let them play that time. Tremendous effort by Jack State.
Pickens, no good. Follow-up, rejected by Erkins Ford. Knocked it away from Ekwe.
You can kind of see the Gamecocks picking up their intensity. Look at the defense here as they'll get the offensive rebound, but Erkins Ford making his presence felt with a nice swat out of bounds.
Now Erkins Ford leaves, and Yaroslav Niagu checks back in. Erkins Ford stands 6'9". Niagu is 7 feet. Here's the inbounds toss to Elijah Elliott. Coach Jason Hooten yelling a play out to his team on the floor. Elliott. A shot on a fall away, but a foul is going to be called on Jacoby Hill.
You know, Jack State's done a really good job on Jones, especially here in the second half. And there you see Jacoby Hill. He's been the reason why he's not been that productive. Jacoby Hill, a great defender, and the only points for Jones in the second half has been the 2 free throws he had earlier when he was fouled on a 3-point attempt.
Jamel Jones makes it.
Here comes Osborne, and he has been drawing the assignment of guarding Mo throughout most of this game. He does check back in with 3 fouls, so that will be something to watch down the stretch here. He's such a good defender.
Jones again from the stripe, and he hits that one. So again, we're stuck at that 7-point margin here. The Aggies hanging on to it. Gamecocks trying to get within 7. Nash. Hill. No good off the back of the rim. And Elijah Elliott brings it up the floor.
Jones went under on the screen and left Jacoby wide open. Jacoby normally makes that shot. Tough miss there by the Gamecocks. Elliott,
baseline. Pickens feeds it to the corner, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be Gamecock ball as Marcus Fitzgerald will check back in. He'll replace Niagu.
Pickens that time wide open. Coach Hooten has really gotten on to him a few times. There's been some situations where the shot clock's been winding down. Pickens has been wide open and doesn't shoot. Coach Hooten that time just clearly looking at number one saying, shoot the ball, shoot the ball.
Yeah. Nash now. Fitzgerald, no, but there is a whistle underneath. And the foul call, and as quickly as he sat down, Niago getting set to come back in. That foul on Augustine Ekwe. It'll be the second on the native of Lagos, Nigeria. And Fitzgerald will shoot the pair. He has 13 and stays that way.
You know, one of the reasons the Aggies are in the lead right now, shooting 13 of 14 at the line, a sizzling 93%. Jack State has missed 4 free throws today. We talked about the missed free throws on Wednesday that really hurt them in the loss against UTEP.
93% for the Aggies to 64% for the Gamecocks. Six-point ball game. There's a floater and an alley-oop to Mims. And Coach Harper has a sick look on his face as that one went in.
Jamel Jones, the leading scorer, is the second leading assister on the team. That was a great assist, the alley-oop to Mims that time.
8 points, the lead. Mustafa stymied that time. Thought he was fouled, but the officials don't agree.
You know, one of the problems coming back against the Aggies in this situation, they're very comfortable in the half court, and right now they look to burn some clock before they shoot.
Jones for three. Ooh, that was a killer. Jamel Jones. 13 points for him. And timeout taken by Jack State. Coming down the stretch, and again, they must win to get into the tournament. Mutauakil puts up an air ball, and it's caught by Osborne, and it goes out of bounds. Now, New Mexico State thought about appealing. Here's Mustafa, and it's knocked out of bounds. Just 53 points scored by Jack State today. Previously, 56 was the low mark against North Dakota State earlier this year in a tournament game in Jonesboro.
That's a tough call there, the foul on
Pickens,
and he did not leave his feet. He just put his arm straight up in the air, clearly frustrated on the call, but Jack State will take it. They needed the clock to stop and get a chance to score at the line.
Jay Nash. He's 2 of 3 from the charity stripe today. Make it 2 of 4, excuse me. Gamecocks just 8 of 13 from the stripe. Now 9 of 14.
And that made free throw allows Jack State to set up the press, which does give them their best chance to get a steal here.
Nearly.
New Mexico State wants to get it across half court, settle into some half court action, run some clock as they did on their last possession.
2:55 remaining. Jones Long inbounds. They lost sight of Pickens. That would have been a 60-yard touchdown pass.
Well, coaches will tell you the first step to beating the press is simply throwing over. At that time, Jack State allowed someone to leak out, and it was Pickens, and he was wide open. That's a touchdown, the wide receiver behind the secondary.
It is. 12-point lead now for the Aggies. Here's Pickens. Up to Jones. Tight defense. And Elliott now has it. Elliott. And like you were saying, look at them just use clock.
Yeah, they're very comfortable in the half court. This is something they're designed to do. Now, they don't score here, but hey, they worked it down to 2 minutes left in the game.
Exactly. 2 minutes remaining. Niagu leaves. A.C. Bryant will check back in. No field goals for Jack State in the last 4 minutes and 12 seconds. And there's a reach-in foul.
Yeah, Coach Hooten yelling out at his team. You know, that's the last thing he wants to see. You do not foul. Just let Jacoby Hill shoot that time if you're New Mexico State.
So shooting the pair is Jacoby Hill. Hill with 17 points now. That's 2 shy of his career best. He had 19 against Florida International.
Yeah, he was the reason Jack State won that game. That was an incredible performance that night.
But still, no field goals for the Gamecocks for nearly 5 minutes now. Here's Pickens. Nash trying to steal it, and Pickens colliding with Erkins Ford. It'll be the second on Imondrick. And the team foul is number 7.
Tell you, this Pickens kid, he's only 6 foot, but as he steps up to the line, you can get a good look at how he's built. He looks like a good running back, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Very muscular. Yeah, you could just see him burying his shoulder to bust through the offensive line. Loose ball. Bryant for 2, and timeout, Jacksonville State. Timeout being taken by Jack State with 1:34 remaining.
And believe it or not, that was A.C. Bryant's first basket of the game. They took the three-pointer away, so A.C. put his head down, went and scored. It keeps JSU's hopes alive. They were able to use a timeout to set up this defense. Gamecocks have got to really ratchet up the pressure, which they've done a pretty good job of doing the last couple of minutes. New Mexico State's just been able to get it across half court.
Bryant averaging 12.7 a ball game, has just 2 today. Mutauakil averaging 18.3. He has just half of that. 9 points for Mustafa. Nash has 10. Hill has 18. Fitzgerald 14. For New Mexico State, 20 for Randall. He's had himself quite the ball game. Mims playing well. He's got a dozen. 16 for Jones. Here's the inbound now by Jones to Osborne. And the reach-in foul by Imondrick.
Well, you might be saying, why did they leave Osborne that open? Well, he's a 58% free throw shooter, so there's your answer.
At the line, Jacoby Osborne.
And again, this young man has drawn the assignment of guarding Mustafa all game. And he's done a solid job against the Gamecocks' leading scorer today.
He has. And the free throw is again up and good. The Aggies are 11-13 on the year, 2-6 away from the Pan American Center. And there's a reach-in foul. And again, the whistles continue. That's going to be A.C. Bryant committing his second. Yeah, 11-13 overall. 4-10 in the conference for the Aggies. 2-6 away from home.
And you know, the season started off so well for New Mexico State. They won their first 4 games, and they weren't all patsies. One of those wins was against New Mexico in the I-25 rivalry. They beat New Mexico early in the season, and again, off to a great start. And then you hit conference play, and then the story of the year for New Mexico State has been not being able to finish in all of these close games they've been in.
But you're right, they beat New Mexico 76-68. Then they beat Samford University 81-72. They then won 2 more games before going on to a streak of a number of losses. There's a 3 out of the perimeter. And you count it for A.C. Bryant. Timeout being taken again by Jacksonville State.
AC getting going. You just wonder if it's a little too late if you're a Gamecock fan. It pulls Jack State to within 8, but Coach Harper did just use his final timeout.
Yep. New Mexico State does have 2 timeouts remaining if for whatever reason they choose to use them. Jamel Jones today, 16 points. He had 26 against UTEP and has scored 20 or more in 3 consecutive Conference USA games. In that stretch, he's been averaging 17. And again, today he's hit 16.
And the bigger number for me for him has been the 3 assists. I mentioned earlier he's the second in that category on the team, but he's had 3 assists today. Sharing the ball, hasn't really forced things. He's let the game come to him. And some of his other teammates, most notably, as we've talked about, Randall, really stepping up today.
And Mustafa, who has just been spectacular from the 3-point arc, only 0 of 3 today.
And again, it's been Osborne defending Mustafa, and Mitchell, who's lining up right in front of us right now, number 11, who's drawn the primary.
You mean Elliott?
Elliott, I should say, against AC. Those 2 have done a great job today defensively.
Here's the inbounds now. Elliott has the basketball. And the reach in by Nadozi. And Toby will pick up his personal foul. That's number 10 on JSU. Nadozi, the transfer from Coppin State, picked up that foul. Elijah Elliott has got that one. Only 3 points for him today. He averages 9.2, but he's made a lot of contributions this afternoon and evening. Makes a couple more. It's a 10-point lead. The Aggies have led by 12 today. The Gamecocks led by 4 for 4.5 minutes, and that's been it. Here now Bryant across the timeline. And the reach-in foul. It's going to be on Elijah Elliott, which I believe will be his 4th. Yes, it is. Number 4 on the grad student from Houston, Texas. And Bryant will shoot a pair.
Yeah, Bryant, nice job there, wasting no time, going right by Elliott, drawing the foul. But again, free throws have been an issue all season long for Jack State. Now, they haven't missed more than they're behind yet, but they have several times this year.
Free throw numbers, 68% as a team overall this year. Today, 9 of 24 being shot for New Mexico State, and 8 of 23 for Jack State.
Gamecocks really had an opportunity there. New Mexico State didn't have anyone set to throw the ball in, and Jones had to back up and do it, but was able to get it inbounds easily that time to Elliott.
Elliott hits it after the foul on Nash. And they are making their free throws when they have to. 19 of 22 for the Aggies from the line. Count it. And a foul. Jacoby Osborne picks up the personal. Little pushing and shoving there, but more frustration than anything else.
Yeah, Osborne committing the foul. He knew he didn't need to leave his feet that time, but he did. Becomes the first player to hit 4 fouls. But again, if you're just going to swap free throws, is
Mims goes to the bench. And here's Jacoby Hill with 20 points today.
If you're Jack State, you got to hit the free throw, you got to set up your press and steal the ball. That has to happen right now for Jack State.
Jacoby Hill with a career high. This time they come back, but they'll foul Elliott. The Gamecocks will. Yeah, Jacoby Hill with a career high in scoring today. He scores 21, eclipsing the 19 he had against Florida International.
That was a high IQ decision there by Osborne. He could have aggressively gone to the hoop and tried to score. Instead, he held up, found his teammate Elliott, and they got the right guy at the line. Mr. Elliott has been calmly knocking him down here in the last couple of minutes.
He is 7 of 7 from the free throw line today. And he makes that one. So it's a 10-point lead with a minute to go for the visitors from Las Cruces. And there's Pickens being fouled. That'll be A.C. Bryant with the personal foul. So the Aggies will improve to 12 and 13 on the year, as Pickens doesn't get that one. They will improve to 5 up and 10 down in Conference USA play. Pickens misses the pair. And there's a little floater by A.C. Bryant. Again, there are no timeouts remaining for Jack State. New Mexico State has a pair. And there's a reach-in foul by Jacoby Hill. And walking the length of the floor again is Elijah Elliott. He's played everywhere, Elliott has. Southern Illinois, Blinn, Texas Junior College, Mount St. Mary's, Oklahoma Christian, and Texas Rio Grande Valley. He is a grad student, and he makes the two. Bryant for a three. Going to be his second tray. Seven-point ball game with 34 seconds to go.
Yeah, just too late for AC.
Yeah.
He's finally heating up. Got 11 points. They've all come here at the end of the game, but for Jack State, it would have been nice to have gotten a little more production out of AC much earlier today. Could have been a much different game.
Elliott. $11 points for him.
And when you throw in the defense he has
Yeah.
provided today, what a game for Elliott.
And a timeout taken by New Mexico State. They will substitute a few players. Osborne has 4 fouls. Elliott has 4 fouls. Gamecocks have hit 4 of their last 5 field goals. But the Aggies have hit 3 of their last 3. Tough to slow them down.
And I know this is no consolation to Coach Harper and his team, but we mentioned earlier, I guess the one redeeming thing for them on this Saturday is the 2 teams below them, Louisiana Tech and Missouri State, have both lost. The team above them, Sam Houston, looks like they may survive a nail-biter at Kennesaw. That game is late, but they lead by 3. So essentially this game is not going to affect Jack State's positioning too much, but it does help out New Mexico State if they can close out this final 34 seconds, because as you mentioned in the upcoming schedule, 3 of their next 5 are at home.
Exactly, and there you see the scores from around the conference today. The one late game at the EA Diddle Arena in Western Kentucky. Looking ahead, these 2 teams meet again on March the 5th. That's the penultimate game of the regular season, or the next to the last, either way you want to talk about it. They'll hook up at the Pan American Center.
And I bet there'll be a raucous crowd on hand for that after the way that first game went down last Saturday going overtime.
AC Bryant will inbound it for the Gamecocks. Pickens just watching. And a short 3-point try. Rebound taken by Elliott. Fitzgerald tried to reach in and play the ball and missed. Here it's taken away. 14 seconds remaining. Nash for 3. That'll be short. And that's going to do it. New Mexico State comes east, and they will beat Jack State 79-70. An impressive win on the road for the Aggies.
Yeah, especially considering the 2 back-to-back heartbreaking losses they've suffered the last 2 outings that we talked about, to come in here today and break that 2-game winning streak. Huge game. They had to have it. It gives them hope as they go back home.
79-70, New Mexico State the winner. Coach Jason Hooten joins us when we come back to Jacksonville.